Hey, everybody, and welcome to this edition of Stream On. I'm Jim Williams, your host. And I got to tell you, we're going to talk a little Broadway today. And there's an exciting situation going on. And as you know, we are big fans of Broadway HD, and they have a new show on. And it's really exciting because it's a Broadway play that they have on that is at the same time being performed on Broadway. So you have a chance to watch it with your family, especially during these holiday times, and then perhaps give the gift of Broadway, during the holidays. So let me just read you the opening paragraph from Laura Collins Hughes' review in the New York Times of the show Puffs. The wizards in training don't dare speak the evil name, but the script calls him Mr. Voldroy. That's fair gauge of the teasing affection, and it's on display. In Puffs, Matt Cox's spirited parody of Harry Potter's universe at the People's Improv Theater. And Bonnie Comley and, of course, Stewart Lane are the brains behind Broadway HD. And guys, you have to be very excited that you've brought Puffs to Broadway HD.
Let's talk about it.
Yes.
It's a great show. It is a great show. It's funny. It's fun. It's great on stage. It's a beautiful digital capture. We're just thrilled. We are just thrilled.
Oh, it is so clever. It's simple in many ways, but really clever and funny and ingenious in some moments.
What from your standpoint thought, you see something like this when you decide you're going to do a show and you look at it and you go, from a digital standpoint, this is going to be great. To me, this is one of those family things where everybody can watch it.
Absolutely.
Well,
absolutely.
We're big fans of the whole, Roland, books.
J.K. Rowling.
Yeah, and so we feel that this is
that is the inspiration for this show.
Right.
Is great.
Well, and now, the other thing that excites me as someone who loves the theater is that you're going to have a whole generation of kids who are now going to want to come and see this.
It's opening up theater to a different and younger audience, but it's also this is a multi-generational show. So I think, as you pointed out, it's family entertainment, but it's also for adults. You don't need to have children in the room to enjoy it. You don't need to bring a kid to the theater to enjoy it. It's just great fun.
It tells us the point of view of experiencing the Hogwarts school through the Hufflepuff section of it, which kind of gets ignored in the other stories. And it kind of reminds me of when Tom Stoppard did Rosencrantz and Guildenstern are dead,
right,
and gave the whole perspective of Hamlet through these two guys, and it's kind of like another version of that sort of thing, but magical.
Well, and go ahead.
This show has been really successful in New York, and for them to decide to go forward in this big way of having it streaming at the same time that they're selling tickets to the live is a first. We've done it before, but then we knew that the show was ending. So even though we even made the Guinness World Records for live streaming show while it was still in a Broadway theater, we saw the end of the show in our sights. We all knew when it was ending, but this is an open-ended run. And this is the first time that producers have actually decided to move in this direction. And so we're really excited. We've got great partners on this with Tilted Windmill Theatricals. And so it's just making us smile.
So they're able to leverage what we have on our website as a marketing tool to sell more tickets for the live stage show. It's a whole different experience of seeing it live on stage and then watching it at home. You can still have fun with it, but it's just a different perspective.
Well, and Stu, the thing, too, if anything that we've learned from a television aspect about what you're speaking of, right, is if you give someone an opportunity to see something and they know that the play is coming, or, or they can go to New York and watch it or whatever, they're going to buy tickets because they now have seen it and they want to see it in person. It's great when you're watching it and streaming it, but it's even better if you can get that ticket and see it in person. So you're going to want to go.
Yeah.
So I think what you've done, has been brilliant, because again, it's you're taking the narrative which has made Broadway HD so good, and that is theater needs to be captured in the best of all possible ways, but then presented in a way that it's accessible to everyone. Well, now you've opened that wonderful door and say, guess what? You can not only see this on Broadway HD, but you're going to be able to see it either in New York or on a touring company somewhere throughout the United States or the world, for that matter.
And now that you've seen it, you know you can afford to spend the money to invite your husband and your kids to share it with you.
Sure. And it becomes an event, which is something that you want people to go to. And you're talking about the J.K. Rowling's thing. I mean, I have 6 nieces, and I don't think there's a Harry Potter item that has not been purchased and or in some way, shape, or form. I think J.K. Rowling has probably built a house off of just stuff I've bought from that. But the franchise has been so successful, and it's great because I can read the books and get something out of it just as well as, kids 8, 9, 10, 12, 14, doesn't matter.
Well, I think that what Puffs does is it offers a way for theater goers to experience something in the theater and then online, and then they can compare the difference.
Right.
It's just having another experience, the live versus the digital version. You're talking about film versus a book too, or other, sort of other merchandise or other things that swirl around that brand. That with this, it's the same thing. There's a digital version, and then there's a live stage version, and they're very different things, and they're just different ways of engaging with the story and the characters, and this one is just fun. I can't say fun enough. Fun and light and funny. So it's just, and it's, as I said, that giving us the opportunity to show how additive the digital piece is a first. And so we're thrilled to have this show, this partnership, and
we think that, I believe that the idea of capturing the live stage really captures the theatricality of a piece. Especially when you're giving a stage production, the directors and choreographers have to be so clever in telling their stories, because it's not cinematic; it's going to be on stage. And sometimes, with all due respect to say, there've been movie versions of shows that never captured that theatricality. Chorus Line comes to mind as one of those movies that never quite captured that live experience of actually sitting in the theater in the dark, when voices start calling out to people on stage. That kind of immersive almost theater that they had back then. So it's really exciting that we're able to do that. And of course, with this whole show that we have there now has been really well received. So Puffs has been, we had some really good comments on it on the internet, and we're very pleased with it.
We'll be back with more Stream On right after this. Hey guys, you know that for the last 40 years, I've been in the broadcast business. 7-time Emmy Award winner, which I'm lucky to say has more to do with people I work with than necessarily me, but nevertheless, I'm happy to accept them. And I've have tons of clients. And one of the things that my clients ask me to do all the time is they say, Jim, look, we need you to hire, a new broadcaster, or perhaps in some cases they need some support staff or something along those lines. And, there are hundreds of job boards out there, but God, you don't get the right quality person. You just get tons of resumes. I say, honestly, 90% of them are worthless. I mean, you're just pouring over this stuff and you get nothing. Well, that's where LinkedIn Talent Solutions comes in. All right. Now, I got to tell you, I've been with LinkedIn since they started. And there's no better professional business community than the LinkedIn community. Now, you know that yourselves, for those of you who are LinkedIn members. What you want when you're looking for a new hire, right, is someone who understands the business that you're doing, who can fit in the moment you hire them, and can add value to your company the moment that they become part of that company, okay? You're not going to find that outside of the LinkedIn Talent Solutions Network. And I'll tell you, they have been the gold standard as far as I'm concerned. I have hired more people using the LinkedIn Talent Solution platform than any other platform that's been out there. And why? It's simple. I'm getting to the cream of the crop, all right? I'm talking to people who get it. The LinkedIn people get it. Most LinkedIn members haven't recently visited the job boards. Why? Well, they've got jobs, but here's a cool stat and a very interesting one that you should think about if you're an employer, right? 9 out of 10 members of LinkedIn are open to new opportunities, okay? So they got a gig, but if you got a better one, they're listening to you. And that, my friends, is important. Now, with 70% of the United States workforce on LinkedIn, posting on LinkedIn to find your next employee is without question the best way to get your job opening in front of the absolute perfect people to fill those jobs, okay? Now, people who are qualified for what you need are ready for something new. Go to LinkedIn and find them. Use this LinkedIn job solution. I'm telling you right now, it is without question the best way to go. Now, I'm going to tell you something that just blows me away. Here's a stat for you. And the folks at LinkedIn, gave me the stat, and I was totally blown away. Do you realize that a new hire is made every 10 seconds by using the LinkedIn Talent Solutions, okay? How about that? Get your mind around that for a second. Every 10 seconds, a new hire is made by using the LinkedIn Talent Solutions. So what are you waiting for? You need to hire somebody? What the heck are you doing with any place else? Look, hurry to linkedin.com/streamon and get $50 off your first post, okay? That's linkedin.com/streamon. Get $50 off your first job post. Let me give it to you one more time. LinkedIn.com/streamon. Get $50 off your first job post. Now, here is something that I'm telling you right now. Folks, that is a deal. And how much is it worth to get the right person for the right job? Worth a lot more than $50, right? Let me give it to you one more time. LinkedIn.com. That's linkedin.com/streamon. Get $50 off your first job post. Okay? Now, terms and conditions might apply. So understand that. But without question, if you got to hire somebody and you want to hire the best, then, my friends, you want to go to LinkedIn's Talent Solutions and you want to sign in and post your first job at linkedin.com/streamon. Get $50 off your first job post. Do it, folks. Do it now. Stream On continues. But I think that, as you both said, you've got the door open now, and people are beginning to see that, what you guys have created is actually something that we can build on. And I think that's exciting, and it's a tribute to the two of you.
Oh, well, thank you. We can't say enough that we're fans of the live piece. Mm-hmm. Stu and I, it's just part of our mission at this point is to get more people to go to see the live.
Mm-hmm.
So for us to be able to do it in this way with Puffs is to say, you know what, just watch this. I'm laughing, right? Watch this on Broadway HD and then go to New World Stages. Buy a ticket to New World Stages and experience this live. Because that's what all of the Broadway HD platform is there for us, is to promote the live, is to encourage people to go and see this, and it's a way for them to have a theater experience without it being 8:00 at night for a curtain.
Sure.
It's a way to keep going to the theater when by staying at home.
Yeah, you can watch it on a school night.
Supporting theater, on without going to the theater on at 8:00 at night.
Right.
Then when you have the opportunity, go at 8:00 at night and see a show.
I was going to say, or you can do like me and go up on the weekends and go on a matinee and check it out from that standpoint. So,
but it's a way to consume theater, all day long, at your convenience.
Right, absolutely.
If you want to watch, we have Nicholas Nickleby. It's 8.5 hours. You can binge watch it, or you can break it up at your convenience.
Right. I actually was involved. I'm sure you guys remember when that first came in. The deal was you would go, and then you would go to you would begin the process of the show, and then you would literally stop, go to dinner, and come back, and see the second part of it. So it was
I didn't
totally
actually
immersive
get to go
experience.
and see that one. Yep, I didn't get to go and see that one.
You didn't?
But Stu, I didn't.
No,
Stu did.
I did. It was one of the highlights of my theater-going career because you were so immersed in Dickens in London at the time, and this was Roger Rees playing the lead, and an amazing transportation. And the actors were just terrific in that show. And you spent the entire day in old, Dickens England. And that was a very exciting experience. Of course, the Harry Potter on Broadway today does a similar thing in that there are two shows, part one and part two. It's kind of interesting how that mirrors that.
Yeah, and you do have that ability to you go, you have dinner, you come back, and the whole time you're talking about what you saw in the first part of it. And
exactly.
Yeah.
That's the fun thing. It's ironic in some way, right? That the name of the production company that's working with you is Tilting Windmills. Seems only apropos, right? That Tilting Windmills would be involved, but no. And Stu, your point about looking at this like Rosencrantz and Guildenstern, looking at Hamlet, it's kind of fun to take the Puffs look at the whole world from that standpoint.
Oh, well, that's what gives it such a different angle. I mean, I've always been a big fan of the books and the movies, but to have a new perspective on it while knowing what's going on at the time, in the world around them, kind of gives me an inside scoop. So that's what so it makes it so different. I know what's going on and what they're talking about. In fact, we know more things than some of the characters do at the time because we're familiar with it. So yes, it's very, very exciting. A very interesting approach.
Well, and it also makes it good for the audience because they're hip to it too.
That's right. They're in on the gag, exactly.
Right. And there's nothing better. It's almost. And I was going to make the analogy to the Rocky Horror Picture Show, but there is something to be said for knowing what's coming up. And
yes, and having your toast and toilet paper ready to go.
Exactly. and the Cleveland Plain Dealer and your squirt gun. All of that. So yeah, it is. But that's what you're talking about with Puffs and Nicholas Nickleby and all this. I mean, it's the ability to go to theater, enjoy theater, but to also interact with it and know it. And I think that's the fun part of what Puffs is. Stu, as you said, everybody's hip to the gag. They know what the deal is, but it doesn't matter. You want to go anyway.
Well, that and sharing, it's the sharing thing. Which, here's a real full out plug. Is if you go to see get a Broadway HD subscription for somebody for the holidays, and or give them tickets to Puffs,
both.
Or both, exactly, or both.
I think both would be good.
Yeah, I mean, so often people think of Broadway HD as just, you can watch it on your phone, which there's plenty of people that that watch our content on their phone,
right?
Or at least they're signing up or they're learning about us on their phone. But we have every app so that you can watch it on your television or whatever tablet or mobile device that you have, or that you enjoy watching shows on. And the bigger, the bigger the screen, the more it lends itself to a group. And these are Nicholas Nickleby and Puffs are great shows to watch together. Great shows for people to get together around their TV and watch.
Well, to your point, right? If you were to subscribe to Broadway HD, which we strongly recommend you do, but if you were,
thank you.
You could, right around, say, the Thanksgiving time when everybody gets together, you could watch Puffs, and then, with a little bit of luck around the holiday time, be it Hanukkah early this year or Christmas at normal time, you could find a set of tickets in some sort of gift box that you might enjoy going to see the show itself. So you could lend
That's
it
a great
around.
idea.
Nice little
now I know what to put in everybody's stocking.
There you go. Yeah. But no, all kidding aside, I do think that one of the great things about it is that, as you said, it's a family thing. And because you can stream it on Roku or Apple TV or Amazon or any of the streaming services, there's no reason why you can't watch it on a regular sized television set and really get that family enjoyment out of it and make it something that is a bit of a destination for the family over the holidays, because you're always looking for something to do with your family over the holidays. And not only could you then watch it, you could then, as we said, either go see it in New York, or for that matter, if you can't go right now, that's okay. You can start watching. As a matter of fact, I think you have Nicholas Nickleby on there, so you could actually watch. You could binge Nicholas Nickleby as well.
Exactly.
And you can watch it, if you got the patience, multiple times.
You know what? We could do 24 days of Broadway.
I love it.
Great.
I love it.
Good idea.
We just do the countdown. 22 days of Broadway. 8 days of Hanukkah Broadway. We can do.
Yeah, exactly. Well, we have titles for that too. So
it works.
It does. So
no matter how you want to frame the season, whatever your season may be, you've got something for us. But I do think that you guys have are constantly playing on the cutting edge, and to be able to get Puffs up and running at this point in time, I think is a massive coup for you. And I couldn't be happier, because I know how hard the two of you have worked on making this thing become such a strong reality.
Well, we were able to work with the producers, and they believe in us, and we believe in them, and it's a mutual admiration there, and that's how we were able to accomplish this.
Well, it doesn't work without teamwork, and obviously you've got that. So, guys, I appreciate you coming and talking about Puffs, and hopefully we'll have some more to talk about after the holiday.
Great.
Oh,
great.
yes. We're planning a lot of surprises for next year.
Oh, cool. All right. Well, we definitely want to hear them, and we definitely want to let people know about them. So,
super.
Well, thank you so much for your
always a great
support.
time. Yeah.
Okay. Take care now. Special thanks to Stewart Lane and Bonnie Comley of Broadway HD. Be sure to subscribe to that outstanding service so you can watch Puffs and so many other outstanding plays that you can watch during this wonderful holiday season. Okay, so thanks again to Bonnie and Stu for joining us. They're always welcome here. We'll be back with more Stream On right after this. Hey guys, you know that for the last 40 years, I've been in the broadcast business, 7-time Emmy Award winner, which I'm lucky to say has more to do with the people I work with than necessarily me, but nevertheless, I'm happy to accept them. And I have tons of clients. And one of the things that my clients ask me to do all the time is they say, Jim, look, we need you to hire, a new broadcaster, or perhaps in some cases they need, some support staff or something along those lines. And, there are hundreds of job boards out there, but God, you don't get the right quality person. You just get tons of resumes. I say, honestly, 90% of them are worthless. I mean, you're just pouring over this stuff and you get nothing. Well, that's where LinkedIn Talent Solutions comes in. All right. Now, I got to tell you, I've been with LinkedIn since they started, and there's no better professional business community than the LinkedIn community. Now, you know that yourselves, for those of you who are LinkedIn members. What you want when you're looking for a new hire, right, is someone who understands the business that you're doing, who can fit in the moment you hire them, and can add value to your company the moment that they become part of that company, okay? You're not going to find that outside of the LinkedIn Talent Solutions Network. And I'll tell you, they have been the gold standard as far as I'm concerned. I have hired more people using the LinkedIn Talent Solution platform than any other platform that's been out there. And why? It's simple. I'm getting to the cream of the crop, all right? I'm talking to people who get it. The LinkedIn people get it. Most LinkedIn members haven't recently visited the job boards. Why? Well, they've got jobs, but here's a cool stat and a very interesting one that you should think about if you're an employer, right? 9 out of 10 members of LinkedIn are open to new opportunities, okay? So they got a gig, but if you got a better one, they're listening to you. And that, my friends, is important. Now, with 70% of the United States workforce on LinkedIn, posting on LinkedIn to find your next employee is without question the best way to get your job opening in front of the absolute perfect people to fill those jobs, okay? Now, people who are qualified for what you need are ready for something new. Go to LinkedIn and find them. Use this LinkedIn job solution. I'm telling you right now, it is without question the best way to go. Now, I'm going to tell you something that just blows me away. Here's a stat for you. And the folks at LinkedIn, gave me the stat, and I was totally blown away. Do you realize that a new hire is made every 10 seconds by using the LinkedIn Talent Solutions, okay? How about that? Get your mind around that for a second. Every 10 seconds, a new hire is made by using the LinkedIn Talent Solutions. So what are you waiting for? You need to hire somebody? What the heck are you doing with any place else? Look, hurry to linkedin.com/streamon and get $50 off your first post, okay? That's linkedin.com/streamon. Get $50 off your first job post. Let me give it to you one more time. LinkedIn.com/streamon. Get $50 off your first job post. Now, here is something that I'm telling you right now. Folks, that is a deal. And how much is it worth to get the right person for the right job? Worth a lot more than $50, right? Let me give it to you one more time. LinkedIn.com. That's LinkedIn.com/streamon. Get $50 off your first job post. Okay? Now, terms and conditions might apply. So understand that. But without question, if you got to hire somebody and you want to hire the best, then, my friends, you want to go to LinkedIn's Talent Solutions and you want to sign in and post your first job at linkedin.com/streamon. Get $50 off your first job post. Do it, folks. Do it now. If you have not yet subscribed to our podcast and joined the over 50,000 people, well, then shame on you. However, we sure do make it simple. You can go to the iTunes store because we are proud to be part of the Apple Podcast family. You can certainly go to Google Play because we're, again, part of the Google Podcast family. We're on Spreaker, Stitcher. We're on Spotify. We are on YouTube. We are on TuneIn, iHeart, and frankly, so many it's hard to keep track of. Best thing to do, go on the Google machine, look up Stream On with Jim Williams. That's Stream On with Jim Williams. Find the favorite button, hit it, or subscribe. Hit either of those two buttons, and each week to your tablet, to your phone, or hopefully to both, you'll get a new edition of the podcast sent directly to you. Okay, so please go out there and do that today. It would mean the world to all of us. Okay, all right. So, speaking of thanks, we want to thank Stu Lane and Bonnie Comley for joining us and talking to us about puffs and all the outstanding stuff that they've got going on Broadway HD. Highly recommend. Check out Broadway HD. It is a great value. And Stu and Bonnie are always putting some outstanding stuff out there. So by all means, check out Puffs and check out the entire list of wonderful content they have on Broadway HD. Next time out, we're going to talk to Ashley Jensen. That's right, Agatha Raisin. She's got a new show coming up. It's a new edition of Agatha Raisin. It's a movie, and it'll be out on Acorn coming up on the 17th, okay? And you don't want to miss that. So joining us from London next time around, Ashley Jensen, as we talk about Agatha Raisin and her new Agatha Raisin film that will debut on Acorn. It's an Acorn original coming up in, I believe it's the 17th of November, but we'll make sure that you get all that information. All right? Okay, so Ashley Jensen next time out. So that does it this time for Stream On. I'm Jim Williams, your host. I hope that you've enjoyed it. And for the entire team here, we hope you have a wonderful and safe week.